It's one thing to protect your energy. It's a whole nother thing to actually trust yourself with it. I've got a lot of truths to drop today about doing this very thing. So trust me and stay tuned. Hi, loves. Welcome back to Amy's View Unscripted. I'm Amy, and this is Life in Motion, where we grow with intention, connect with purpose, and rise to meet our potential, moving the world forward by becoming who we're meant to be. You ever notice how once you finally cut out the chaos, the drama, the noise, the draining energy, everything suddenly feels a little too quiet? Like, wait, is this peace? Or did I accidentally isolate myself? That silence you're hearing, that's you. And today we're talking about what it really means to hear that voice again, to trust it, and to let it lead. So, last week we talked about protecting our energy, learning where we end and where the world begins. And if you actually did that work, if you drew a few boundaries, stopped over explaining, maybe even said no without an apology, you might be feeling proud. And also slightly weird. Because peace can be tricky. Peace can feel like withdrawal. After years of running on survival mode, stillness doesn't feel natural. It feels suspicious. When the noise fades, the silence gets loud. Your brain starts asking, did I do something wrong? Shouldn't I be doing more? Is everyone mad at me? And that's where the real work begins. Because just protecting your energy isn't the finish line. It's the clean slate. I remember the first time I set a hard boundary. I expected relief, and instead I got anxiety. Like my body didn't know what to do with peace. It was looking for the next thing to fix. That's when I realized protecting your energy gives you space, but then we have to learn how to live in that space. Sometimes the hardest part about peace is believing you actually deserve it. So if that's you right now, like your life finally got quiet and you feel a little unsettled, you're not broken. You're just detoxing from chaos. Here's a gentle experiment. The next time that silence starts to buzz, instead of filling it with music, scrolling, or overthinking, just sit in it for one full minute. Let your nervous system learn that quiet isn't danger, it's safety. And if a thought pops up like, well, this is boring, or something's wrong, tell it, no, love, this is healing. It just feels weird because I'm new here. That's what this part of the journey looks like. Rewiring what comfort means. When you've spent years earning peace through exhaustion, learning to receive it without a fight is the bravest thing you can do. Once the noise dies down, the next voice you hear is your own. And honestly, she has been waiting a while. Self-trust starts in those moments of quiet recognition. You know, when you get that sudden knowing in your gut before logic even shows up to argue, that's your intuition. It's not mystical, it's like data from the soul. But we've been trained to outsource our decisions. We crave consensus. We'll make a spreadsheet, poll the group chat, pull a tarot card, and still ask the internet for confirmation. Because somewhere along the line, we started mistaking agreement for assurance. And sure, feedback has its place. But your inner compass doesn't need a committee. Let me ask you something. How many times have you said, "I knew it," after ignoring that first gut feeling? Exactly. That's your inner voice rolling her eyes, whispering, "If you just listened the first time." You already know more than you give yourself credit for. Your body knows when something is off before your brain finds the language. Your energy flinches even before the red flag waves. That's not paranoia, that's wisdom. When you tune in, you'll start hearing patterns. The subtle yes in your chest, the slow tightening when something's a no. Here's a fun micro moment you can try. The next time you're faced with a choice, big or small, say both options out loud. Now notice which one makes your body expand and which makes it shrink. That's your truth talking. We think of intuition as abstract, but really it's just body literacy. Your nervous system is fluent in honesty. And hey, I get it. Listening to yourself can be scary because it means you have no one else to blame when things don't go perfectly. But perfection isn't the goal. Alignment is. Sometimes trusting yourself won't always lead to the right option. It'll lead to the real one. And real is where growth happens. Also, let's be honest, how many of us have ignored that gut feeling, done the thing anyway, and then sat there like, wow, crazy how that red flag ended up being a red flag. Yeah, you're not alone. So here's your reminder. That voice inside of you, she's not bossy. She's just tired of being interrupted. Try this right now. Close your eyes. Well, unless you're driving, and ask yourself, what am I pretending to not know? Whatever flashed through your mind first, that's your answer. And the more you practice listening, the louder that inner signal becomes. Because intuition isn't fragile. It doesn't need to scream, it just needs space. Here's where we turn awareness into action. Self-trust isn't a vibe, it's a practice. Think of it like a muscle. And right now, most of us are spiritually sore from not using it. Every time you second guess yourself, you're essentially telling your intuition, "I don't believe you." And she's like, "Cool, well, I'll set this one out." So, how do we rebuild that relationship? One micro trust at a time. A micro trust is any moment you follow through on something your inner voice told you to do, even if it's small. Drinking water when you said you would, leaving a conversation that drains you, resting before your body begs you to. Each one is a tiny vote for yourself, and enough votes turn into belief. You don't rebuild trust by promising you'll never fall again. You rebuild it by proving you'll catch yourself when you do. When you break a promise to yourself, it stings not because of the failure, but because your inner self starts believing you won't show up next time. So the repair isn't punishment, it's consistency. Start with something you can keep. Maybe it's as small as, I'll take one deep breath before reacting. Then actually do it. Then celebrate that breath like you just finished a marathon. Because emotionally, you kinda did. Here's another little truth. You don't need to manifest more trust. You just need to stop gaslighting your own intuition. Next time you say, I knew better. Remember, you did. And that's not failure. That's proof that the signal's working. There's this quiet moment that always comes when you start rebuilding trust, where you stop trying to fix or prove anything and just notice. Maybe you catch yourself taking a deeper breath without even meaning to. Maybe your shoulders actually drop for the first time all day. That's what it feels like when your body finally starts believing you again. Most of us were never taught that kind of safety. We were taught to trust systems, rules, and roles, but never ourselves. But self trust isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's the steady, unshakable knowing that says, I am the authority of my own experience. And that doesn't make you selfish, it makes you sovereign. And you can almost feel it, that subtle shift inside you. The way your energy settles when you stop doubting what you already know. That's what motion looks like on the inside. The quiet ripple that starts within you and moves everything around you, even if no one can see it yet. Here's the part that no one likes to talk about. Even after you rebuild that trust, the noise always tries to sneak back in. You'll have a strong week, clear boundaries, aligned choices, and then out of nowhere, a wave of doubt will crash through, like, hey, remember me? And your brain will say, maybe I shouldn't have trusted myself after all. And that's okay. That's normal. Trust isn't a straight line, it's more like the tide. It comes and goes, but each time it returns, it reaches a little further than before. So when doubt shows up, don't treat it like a villain. Treat it like a nervous friend who just needs a little reassurance. Say, I hear you, but I've got this. Because here's the secret. Self-trust and doubt can coexist. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move even when fear is buckled in next to you. And oh, the Google spiral. You know it. The late night, am I overreacting searches? The forum scrolls. The let me just check one more opinion. We've all been there, trying to fact check our feelings as if emotional clarity comes with citations. Let's be real. Sometimes those searches are just a digital comfort blanket. Because trusting yourself sometimes means you have to sit in uncertainty. And that's a muscle our culture hasn't exactly trained. So here's what to do instead. The next time you catch yourself searching for external proof, take pause. Ask, what answer am I hoping someone else gives me? Then, what if I already know it? That question alone can end 1,000 self-doubt spirals. Here's another truth. Doubt will come back every time you level up. New growth invites new uncertainty. The goal isn't to silence the noise, it's to stop mistaking it for truth. Because your inner critic may have a megaphone, but your intuition has a map. So navigate yourself out of the noise. When you start trusting yourself again, the world around you starts shifting. Quietly, almost imperceptibly at first. You stop chasing permission. You stop apologizing for knowing what you know. And then people notice, because your presence feels different. Self-trust doesn't announce itself. It steadies the room. When you live from alignment instead of fear, you become kind of a mirror. Your choices reflect what's possible for the people who've forgotten that they have a choice too. That's the ripple effect. That's motion. You'll find that arguments totally lose their flavor. You'll stop needing to convince anyone because authenticity doesn't negotiate, it just is. And that calm, it's magnetic. It invites others to exhale and to meet you where honesty lives. Because every time you return to your own center, you remind the rest of us that ours still exists. So if you've ever wondered whether your personal growth really matters, it does. Every healed piece of you softens the edges of the collective. It's not poetry, it's physics. A regulated self becomes a kinder conversation, and a kinder conversation becomes a gentler community. And that's how personal work becomes world work. So this week, let that trust ripple outward. Make one brave choice that aligns with your inner truth, even if nobody claps for it. Especially if nobody claps for it. Because applause isn't the measure, alignment is. And every aligned act, no matter how small, moves the world forward. Let's bring this full circle. Protecting your energy was about defense, and trusting yourself is about direction. One grounds you, the other grows you. When the world gets noisy again, and it will, remember this: silence isn't empty. It's where your wisdom lives. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. So maybe tonight, when things get quiet, instead of filling the space, you listen. You might be surprised who's been waiting to speak. And if something in this episode resonated, a line, a thought, a moment, tell me in the comments. I'd love to know what landed for you and where you're learning to trust yourself more lately. Thank you for watching this episode of Life in Motion. Please join, like, and share, because together we can help inspire each other. And maybe, just maybe, together we can all make a difference. For others and for this lovely world. You've got this.